Like, comment, and subscribe. And we're back with chapter 106, Raising Ji-hyuk-yu. Just when the navy-colored darkness was fading away, "Hey, get up!" Sumin was fast asleep when she was abruptly awakened by Minwon shaking her roughly. "Oh, you scared me," she groaned. "What's wrong?" "Mom fainted. Hurry up and put your clothes on. My father-in-law must be back already." Sumin hurried off the bed, acting as if she were surprised. "Your mom? Why did she faint all of a sudden?" "How should I know?" Even though he only talked about being a good son, Minwon seemed to be in a rush as he put on gray sweatpants and snapped at Sumin. "Calm down, Minwon. You're going to trip and fall. Just put a jacket on and come out already." Minwon grabbed the car keys and stepped outside first. Sumin had no choice but to throw on a long coat over her pajamas and follow after him. She was disappointed Chon-ho had come home earlier than he was supposed to. Since it was early morning, the streets were empty and the car sped along, arriving at the hospital in no time. Jae-ho was waiting impatiently in a corner of the emergency room when he saw Minwon and waved him over. "Move over here, Minwon," Jae-ho called. "Mom!" Other than a large bruise on one side of her face, Jae-ok looked fine on the outside. Minwon was about to feel relieved when Jae-ok opened her eyes. He jumped in surprise. "Mom, what's wrong with your face?" Jae-ok's face was crooked. She was trying to say something, but all that came out of her mouth were incomprehensible noises. "Oh my gosh!" Sumin showed up after Minwon since her steps were much slower. Jae-ok's eyes widened. "What happened to you?" Sumin hugged Jae-ok tightly and started sobbing loudly. To other people, they looked like they were actually related by blood. "I came back home early this morning after my fishing trip, and she was lying in the living room. The doctor says she suffered a cerebral hemorrhage, and just when she happened to be alone," Jae-ho sighed deeply. Sumin was bawling so much she was about to pass out. This is all my fault. I should have slept over," she wailed. "If I had been by her side, I could have taken her straight to the hospital. But I had to come home to make Minwon his dinner. What's going to happen to her?" Jae-ok managed to lift her left hand, which was as stiff as a rock. Sumin grabbed that hand with both of hers and pressed it to her forehead. "Now don't you worry. I'll stay here at the hospital and take good care of you. Once you get treated by the doctors and physical therapists, you'll be able to talk and walk just like before in no time." She's probably crying when she's saying this, but I really feel like she would flip-flop like that. Jae-ok shook her head from side to side. Minwon squeezed Jae-ok's immobile right hand. "Kids are supposed to take care of their parents. How can I just stand here and do nothing when you're in pain? Mom, your daughter-in-law will take good care of you, so just get better soon, okay?" "If she's here all day without your meals, what about your meals, Minwon?" Jae-ho asked worriedly. Minwon replied, "Don't worry, Dad. Sumin will come home a couple of times a week and prepare some side dishes. I can eat those. Oh, and she can make some extra for you, too." Cholho nodded and sighed. "All right, then. I'm counting on you, son." Jae-ok's condition was serious, so she had to be hospitalized immediately. While Jae-ho took care of the admission process, Sumin and Minwon came back home to pack their things so they could sleep and eat at the hospital. The seedless watermelon certificate that that had made Jae-ok pass out was hidden away, deep inside the vanity drawer. "How did this happen so suddenly? She was so healthy before," Sumin said, concerned as she sat on the passenger side and squeezed a large travel bag towards her chest. "I'll call you every day and tell you how she is, so you don't have to stop by too often. After all, they say she needs peace and quiet the most." Minwon was touched by Suman's dedication and kindness. Even in his apprehension, even in his appreciation, was as small as the hairs on the back of his hand. Even if his appreciation was as small as the hairs on the back of his hand. She's been so good to you, he said. Make this your opportunity to repay the favor and take good care of her. She did treat you like her own daughter. She reminds me of my mom. I'm sorry. I can't. Okay. She did treat you like her own daughter. She reminds me of my mom. Minwon, who had no idea what Suman's mom meant to her, was quite pleased with that answer. That's why I couldn't get through that part. I'm like, girl, you hate your mom. We all know you hate your mom, except for Minwon. She plotted to kill this hoe, I swear to God. And what the fuck is Minwon gonna do? His ass ain't even got a fucking job. Is he even looking for a job? He took out that stupid ass loan, which, I mean, it kind of wasn't stupid, but he's gonna have to repay it. But he wants Suman to take care of his mom and cook food for him and his dad while his ass does shit all, plays on the stock market. But you know what? Suman is a piece of shit, but he's a piece of shit too. And he's not getting, I'm gonna need him to get more karma towards him, because right now, him finding out he doesn't have kids, he doesn't know, but finding out he can't have kids, okay, what else is gonna happen to him? Suman, I don't care that she has to make all these extra meals, but I'm like, damn, bro, you really don't give a fuck about her, like, period. We know this, but goddamn. Okay. You gave it all back? All of it? Jiwon gasped. You didn't leave anything? Ji-hyuk nodded. Yes, I gave back everything I got from my family. Jiwon had no idea what the everything that Ji-hyuk was passively talking about had entailed. She only assumed it would have been a lot. Even if they didn't seem like it, Ji-hyuk was from a rich family. None of it was ever hers, so Jiwon didn't feel bad about it. She was, however, worried about Ji-hyuk. It'll be okay, he reassured her. After spending time deep in thought, Jiwon clenched her fists in determination. Come stay with me. I'll take care of paying for a while, too. What? You have nowhere to go, right? I'll get a bed for the study so you can stay there. What could a son of a rich family without his... What could the son of a rich family have without his family's money? Ji-hyuk's security company was still a startup, and it didn't seem like it was making a lot of money. Jiwon already felt guilty about the room service they were eating for breakfast. Are you saying we should live together? Ji-hyuk asked. That's not what I meant. It's more like you're staying over at my place. Jiwon raised her pointer finger to wiggle it. Remember what I said before. Use me when you need to. This is the time for that. Ji-hyuk did not feel the need to reveal that he had bought the house with his own money, which I assumed. He also did not tell her that he had enough income from JN to live off of, even if it wasn't as much as a tycoon, and that he had other investments in real estate as well. How long can I stay? He asked. Jiwon had no idea Ji-hyuk had other intentions in mind. She answered innocently, until you can stand on your own. I can't let our little Pang starve. Ji-hyuk chuckled and poured warm coffee from the pot. Then I won't refuse. But my room is off limits. You can only come in on my permission. Jiwon took the last piece of bagel that Ji-hyuk put cream cheese on and chowed down. The passcode is 0410, she continued. I'm going straight to work, so you can leave your stuff and paying in the house. Use the small room right across from the entrance and the bathroom in the living room. The bathroom attached to my room is also off limits. Ji-hyuk raised an eyebrow. Don't you think that's too many off limits areas? I know you're going to wring me dry, Ji-hyuk. I need sleep if I'm going to go to work the next day. She already know that endless refilled bottle of lotion. Ji-won complained, thinking of all the work she had to do. Ji-hyuk's gaze turned lewd again as he checked the time. We still have 30 minutes. Ji-won flinched and tried to save herself. It was all because of her habit of getting up early in the morning. Who knew he had even gotten any sleep last night? Ji-hyuk had turned into a beast as soon as their eyes met. He'd made love to Ji-won even more passionately than yesterday. The aftermath was that Ji-won couldn't even go downstairs to eat and had to order room service sitting on the bed. I'm eating right now, she insisted. You're almost done. And I need to go to work. Our office is right there. And I'm going to give you a ride. I'm tired. It's because you can't relax. Unfortunately, Ji-won swallowed the remaining piece of the bagel. Ji-hyuk lifted the plate like he had been waiting for this moment and sat it in his place. Let's practice relaxing. Otherwise, you're going to keep having a hard time. The skirt she just put on was pulled off of her. Her blouse, which the hotel staff had cleaned and ironed for her, was now crumpled in the shape of Ji-hyuk's hand. I thought you were just a dog. A big dog, Ji-won panted at his persistent touch and clenched the bed sheets. But turns out you're a wolf. I've been fooled. It's your fault for being fooled. Grinning, Ji-hyuk dropped the pants that had been ironed for him below the bed. The neat freak in him stood no chance in front of the sweetest oasis in the world. Bro, he is definitely a wolf. And I'm okay with that. Ji-won deserves it. Our girlie didn't live almost two lifetimes of terrible. I'm pretty sure Minwon is terrible in bed. I'm just going to call it. I'm pretty sure he's probably selfish as fuck. And the sex is terrible. I'm calling it now. The pretty and friendly Sumin was very popular among the elders at the hospital. Not only the patients, who were together 24 hours a day, but the doctors and nurses also praised her. They said she was such a kind daughter-in-law. She sure is lucky. How did she get a daughter-in-law like you? I thought you were her actual daughter. Sumin went to clean out the bedpan before the lights went out in the ward. She turned red at the neighboring patients' and guardians' compliments when she came back. I'm just doing what anyone should, she said sweetly. Other daughters-in-law would do a better job than me. Oh, that's not true. My daughter-in-law says she's too busy with work to visit. What about mine? She says she's too busy looking after her kid. Words of lament could be heard coming from here and there. Suman made an embarrassed expression, put the bedpan back where it was, and tidied up the bed sheets. She had a late dinner standing up, massaging Jaeok's arms and legs, flipped her over so she wouldn't be bedsore, and then it was already time for the doctor to make rounds. Is she sleeping well? Suman answered the doctor's question with concern. She breaks into cold sweats a lot, and she wakes up many times and says gibberish. Why is that? She could just be frustrated that her body isn't moving like it used to. Make sure she doesn't roll over and fall when she's tossing and turning. And make sure her mind is at peace, the doctor said. Also, you have to check that the blankets are on her properly while she sleeps, so a cold wind doesn't blow on her. Her condition will worsen quickly if she's cold. Thank you, doctor. Suman bowed at a 90-degree angle. She did not forget to call Minwon before going to bed to tell him about Jaeok's condition. I gave her some porridge and she spilled a little. But she still ate most of it, she reported. She still breaks out into a cold sweat often, so I have to change her clothes 3 times a day. Can she speak at all? Minwan asked. No, not at all. Suman deliberately sighed loudly, lacing her voice with worry. I'm not perfect, but I'll keep doing my best. Okay, I'm hanging up now. He could have at least pretended to be thankful, but Minwan did not offer any words of gratitude. Suman looked at the phone, and he hung up so coldly and pouted. He has no idea how hard nursing someone is. Suman needed somewhere to vent. She found the number right away and sent a text. Suman, my mother-in-law collapsed, so I'm stuck at the hospital. I wish she'd just die already and stop being so troublesome. She closed the phone and waited until she got a reply from her friend. Unknown. You're nursing her at the hospital, Suman? Suman, yup. My husband didn't even thank me or tell me I'm doing a good job. Unknown. Her condition must be pretty bad. Suman, she had a cerebral hemorrhage. She's always screaming so loud that the vein on her neck pop. Of course her brain couldn't handle it, LOL. Suman let out all her complaints and dissatisfactions that had been bottled up inside. She talked about how the spare bed was too hard, how the food was so gross that she'd been eating at the convenience store, how noisy the patients and guardians in the ward were, how ugly the doctor was, and how rude the nurses were. Her friends listened to her complaints and comforted Suman, saying how bad she felt for her. Unknown. Just hold on a little longer. You know what they say. What goes around comes around. You'll be punished for bad things and rewarded for all the good that you do, Suman. The lights in the ward turned off. Suman put her phone in her pocket and lay down on the stiff spare bed. After some time passed, the quiet chatter died away. It seemed like everyone was asleep. Quietly, Suman got up and pulled the covers that were tucked around Jaok away. Jaok was about to drift off to sleep when she spotted Suman in the darkness and shook her head. Did you wake up again? She asked. Suman pulled out a couple of wet tissues and wiped Jaok's face and neck with care. She wiped her arms and legs and was especially meticulous with the areas that were numb. Then she picked up the notebook on the side table and fanned her. I hope you get better soon. Even as she dozed off from time to time, Suman kept fanning Jaok diligently until the doctor made their nightly rounds. She tried to kill this bitch. The doctor said not to let her get cold, right? And she doing that shit. Making sure she's cold as fuck, fanning her. And you know, those cold sweats are her stressing because her fucking killer, attempted killer, is right there watching over her. So she's in constant fright. But can I say I feel bad for her? No. That's what she gets for stressing out about not having a grandson, because she's trying to keep up with the Joneses. Girl, be happy, okay? I know it's probably a different mindset for her generation or whatever, but girl, bye. You freaking out because you found out your kid is impotent is what made you have a stroke, of all things. Bye. Good girl, bye. Let's see. Jaok was largely responsible for Jiwon's cancer in the other timeline. She absolutely deserves this. Also, I'm loving this side of Ji-hyuk. Oh yeah, Ji-hyuk, our boy, is always ready. Would I be mad if I was Jiwon? No, I wouldn't. I'd feel very appreciated. Min Hwan forgot Suman has a horrible personality. He only forgot because she said she'd take care of his mom. That's the only reason. Min Hwan and his father sure are the worst, expecting the woman to do everything for them without reward. Jiwon tried to save herself, but he was actually Jiwon tried to save herself, but he was actually a wolf. Suman doesn't even see that what goes around comes around, but also be referred to her actions. Yeah, that karma thing was actually about her. Also included her as well, not just Jaeok. Wow, Suman and Jaeok are perfect for each other. And then this will be the last one. The whole family needs to be thrown away. Suman really married her ilk, and all of them need to go in the trash where they belong. That said, I absolutely love the juxtaposition of Jiwon living her best life and Suman living her worst. Yes, I also, you know what? I forgot to point that out. Yeah, I like seeing the two parallels of that. And since we know that's our girly Jiwon, she really don't care. She's probably reveling, just like how Suman used to do to her. But these are all things that Suman did to herself. She put herself in all of these positions. None of this would have happened if she didn't covet things that Jiwon had and wanted to make Jiwon feel miserable. So now Jiwon gets to get firsthand knowledge of how miserable Suman is and fake comfort her, which is fantastic. Tasty. I love it. Okay. But that was chapter 106. And next up is Life is Beautiful. I did forget to mention this is a new set of videos. I totally forgot because I just jumped right into the chapter. But if you did miss the last video, just know chapter 105 was hot as fuck. If you want to listen to it again, there'll be a link somewhere for you can check out my playlist for all of the chapters. But yeah, the last video, chapter, what is it? 100 to 105. It's good. 105 is real good. But yes, please stick around for chapter 107. Life is beautiful. Alrighty. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps with the algorithm. And I really would appreciate it. I am going to be adding more stuff in because it takes me a while to edit when I do drama videos, and I'm going to have to change how I do them because I never get them out in time where before the copyright checking gets to them. Like the first couple videos will be fine, but then after a while, the companies send out their bots and they catch my stuff before I can post them. So I said I was going to start doing more reactions, and I have some saved now, and I'm going to be I found some Reddit posts also. So I'll probably start incorporating those as well. But I'll see ya in chapter 107. Bye. And we're back with chapter 107. Life is Beautiful. Fuck, how can he miss? I know, right? I could do better than that. I don't know about that. In the middle of Minwon's home was a boozy party. Since Suman was staying at the hospital or nursing his mother, Minwon was all alone, so his friends came over with their arms full of various types of alcohol. The group of friends took over the living room, drinking while they cursed at a soccer match on TV that wasn't going very well. Ugh, forget it. Let's just keep drinking, Jaeyoung complained as he mixed together another round of drinks. Another friend of theirs, Songho, searched his pockets for a cigarette. Can I smoke in the bathroom? Minwon kicked him lightly. Go smoke outside, dude. Songho snickered. Why? Your wife doesn't like the smell? She has him totally whipped into shape, Jaeyoung teased Minwon while handing out the drinks. Minwon frowned at the attack on his ego. He took a cigarette from Songho to put it on his own lips. Just smoke then. It's not a big deal anyway. Nice. I'm going to take a dump. Sungho took the cigarettes and lighter before going inside the bathroom. Soon after, Jae-young finished his drink and rubbed his belly. Is there something in this drink? I gotta go too. Use the one in this bedroom. With a drink in his hand, Minwon gestured towards the door using his chin. Okay. Jae-young struggled to get up and went inside the room Minwon had indicated. The newlyweds' bedroom used to be cutely decorated, but now it was a total mess. Jae-young looked at the covers that had been left rumpled and rolled up since that morning. The pillows tossed on the floor and the pajamas discarded next to them. He clicked his tongue. Even in his drunken stupor, ugh. Thank God he got married, even if it's to a girl like her. That statement, let me remember to go back to that. Jae-young finished his business in the bathroom, where mold was starting to grow due to Minwon's lack of cleaning it. He was about to go back to the living room when his lips curled into a smirk. Since the soccer game was a bust and things were getting boring, he was starting to feel playful. Let's see now. Maybe here? Jae-young pulled out all the vanity drawers and rummaged through them. Usually women kept secretive things inside their vanity. Just as Jae-young expected, the last drawer contained sexy underwear sets that Sumin treasured. Giggling, he went through the underwear carelessly before finding a slip that looked like it could fit him. Jae-young took off his top and forced the slip over his body. He heard a ripping sound from under his armpits, but he didn't pay much attention to it. Huh? What's this? As Jae-young stuffed the underwear back, he discovered a white envelope in the back corner and took it out. It was an envelope from a fertility hospital with Minwon's name on it. He must have gotten his sperm checked. Jae-young snickered and brought the envelope with him as he opened the bedroom door. Ugh, what the hell are you wearing? Sungho, who had come back from the bathroom already, covered his eyes like he was disgusted and chortled. Oh my God, I forget how to say that word. A few guys pretended to throw up, and one rolled around the floor laughing. Minwon was facing away from the door, so he turned around a second later and freaked out. What the fuck? Are you crazy? He yelled. What do you mean, honey? Jae-young spoke in a high-pitched voice that twisted his body bashfully. Oh, sweetie, go wash up and get here. Get over here. Smooch. Ugh. Stop kidding around and take that off, asshole. I'm about to throw up. And what's that in your hand? This? Exaggerating greatly. Jae-young opened the envelope and took out the paper inside. I took a test to see how strong my whittled darling spermness is. Minwon stopped tilting his head in curiosity and snorted when he discovered what the papers were. He remembered how Sumin had asked him to come with her to receive the test results. Oh, good. I haven't seen that. Give it here. I'll read it for you out. Oh my God. I'll read it for you on our bed, baby. Jae-young dashed into the bedroom once again. Ugh, that jerk. He's so annoying. Minwon grumbled and stood up using the armrest as a support. But before he could even walk over, Jae-young appeared from the bedroom and suddenly asked, Dude, what does this mean? I don't get it. Hand it over. Minwon snatched the test results from Jae-young while Minwon was just as clueless as Jae-young. I don't get it either. My wife went by herself to listen to the results. I know what it means. Let me see. Minwon looked suspiciously at Sungho, who sat on the couch and gestured with his hands. How do you know? My wife was getting on my nerves because of my smoking, so I had to take the same test. Apparently, I'm healthy as fuck. Sungho sneaked a brag at the end of his sentence as he took the test papers. His face turned a little serious once he looked through it from top to bottom. Minwon, is this really yours? Minwon rolled his eyes. Who else could it be? My wife's? Well, you're fucked then. Curiosity appeared in all the red alcohol-tinted eyes. Why? What is it? Is he gonna die? Does he not have any sperm? Minwon's friends burst out laughing at Jae-young's joke. Minwon followed along and snickered with them. Songho nodded. Yeah, no sperm. The laughter grew louder at Songho's words. Minwon didn't understand how serious the situation was and laughed as he took the test papers from Songho's hands. You want your friend to be impotent? You are, though. Songho's beat his chest in frustration. See this? The sperm count? They say 10 million is a really low amount, but this says 1 million. Huh? Plus, it says only 9% of it is moving normally, meaning the rest are all dead. Minwon felt sober all of a sudden. He grabbed the paper and ran to his study to turn the computer on. Why can't you just listen to me, you asshole? Songho asked mockingly as he followed Minwon. His friends gathered around the computer like they'd found something fun and interesting. Minwon's hands trembled slightly as he typed in the search engine. The normal amount is over 20 million for every 1 cubic centimeter. Jae-young read the search results out loud. As the number decreases, the probability of a natural pregnancy also declines. Under 5 million is near impossible, while under 1 million is... Shut up, you son of a bitch! Minwon whacked Jae-young's head hard enough to make a loud sound. Fuck, are you crazy? You're the one who's crazy, who let you look through my stuff. You were laughing too, you impotent bastard. You little... Minwon threw a punch at Jae-young's face. This time, Jae-young didn't stay still. Jae-young's kick in retaliation landed exactly on Minwon's stomach. Urgh! Minwon fell backward, and the office chair was pushed back as well. Jae-young kicked Minwon, who was rolling on the floor, and climbed on top of him to punch him repeatedly in the face. Hey! Hey! Stop it! Let's talk about this. Their friends rushed over and separated Minwon and Jae-young. In the beginning, Jae-young was actually only hit twice, and it was Minwon who took the brunt of it. Minwon spat a bloody loogie on the floor and staggered to his feet. Fuck off, all of you, you sons of bitches. He's lost it. Are you sure? Are you that embarrassed about being impotent? Mumbled Songho, frowning. The other friends were all thinking the same thing. Why is he taking it out on us? It's not our fault he's impotent. Shut up. I told you to fuck off. Minwon kicked the spinning office chair that was pushed back. Now that they were all sober, Minwon's friends felt disgusted. They started picking up their phones, cigarettes, and other belongings to stuff them in their pockets. Fine, we'll fuck off, you jerk. Hey, let's get some more drinks outside. I'm up for it. Once his friends were gone, the only thing left were the messy house, the half-eaten delivery food, and the lukewarm bottles of alcohol. Well, actually, there was something else. Fuck. Minwon ripped his seedless watermelon certificate into pieces and threw them in the living room. Someone must have knocked over a drink at some point because the pieces of paper fell into a puddle of alcohol. Those bastards! Minwon slumped onto the floor and stared off into the distance before lifting a full bottle of soju to his lips. He devoured the soju, which was more intoxicated when it was lukewarm, and chewed on a piece of pork. Suddenly, he felt wetness on his cheeks. It was a stream of tears running down his face. Fuck! What am I gonna do? There was no one watching anyway. Minwon collapsed on the floor and bawled his eyes out while leaning on the couch. As he kept crying and drinking, then crying and drinking again, one person came to mind. You probably have no idea how tough it is for me right now. If you did, you wouldn't have left me alone like this. Jiwon. Minwon fumbled for his phone and pressed Jiwon's number. While the phone rang, he wiped his tears and drank more soju. But then, click, the call went through. Jiwon, you there? Minwon asked hurriedly into the phone, a bottle of soju still in his hand. There was no answer from the other side. Don't hang up, Jiwon. I called you because I'm having a really hard time. Thinking that Jiwon was listening, Minwon started mumbling his laments like a heartbroken man. My mom fainted and nothing's going as planned. If you were by my side, you'd believe me and cheer me on. Then everything would have worked out. Let's start over, Jiwon. I'll get a divorce and come to you. I'll forgive you for everything you've done to me. I know you didn't mean it, no matter how cold-hearted you sounded. Jiwon, I'm sure she meant it. Suddenly, a thick, low voice came out of the silent phone. Minwon almost dropped his phone, but barely managed to catch it. Who the hell are you? This is Jiwon's. You shouldn't call someone else's girlfriend like that. Minwon ground his teeth. You're Ji-hyuk, aren't you? A voice as cold as ice, an ice pick, came through the phone and pierced his eardrums. Why are you asking if you know? Were you hoping it wasn't me? Why are you picking up Jiwon's phone? Minwon demanded. Because I'm her boyfriend. You went missing. I saw it on the news. She came to find me. Jiwon, that is. Stop messing around and put Jiwon on the phone. Where's Jiwon? What are you going to do once you find out? The voice that used to be flat and even with no trace of emotion was chilling now. Even though Ji-hyuk wasn't in front of him, Minwon's heart felt like it was freezing over as goosebumps appeared along his neck. Listen carefully, Minwon Park, Ji-hyuk warned in a voice so low it felt like the sound was scratching down his neck. I assigned a 24-hour bodyguard to Jiwon. Don't try anything funny. Don't even try to approach her. It's more than easy to get rid of a piece of trash like you. Piece of trash? What do you call me? What did you just call me, you son of a bitch? You'll realize once you look in the mirror. You'll realize whether you deserve to be called human. Whether, Ji-hyuk whispered steadily, your life is hopeful enough to continue. Click, the phone went dead. Minwon stared at the phone, speechless. He raised his head. He saw his reflection in the turned-off TV screen. He was wearing dirty, stretched-out clothes, and his beard was unruly from days of not shaving. The living room was so full of delivery food boxes, soju bottles, and discarded clothes that there was nowhere to stand. This place was just alone, and there was no way to pay the credit card that was snowballing. His stocks had tanked, so he couldn't even sell them. This is all because of that bitch. Minwon lifted the soju bottle he had put down before and chugged it. He was about to throw it at the TV, but stopped himself. He needed the TV. Wait and see. As soon as Mom gets better, I'm going to divorce her, even if Mom and Dad are against it, no matter what. Minwon mumbled like a madman as his eyes shone brightly. No, I'm going to kill her. A wife who was exhausted from nursing her mother-in-law. What if an accident occurred on the trip they'd taken to make her feel better? Is my life hopeful enough to continue? An unnatural smile, like one that belonged to a clown, spread across Minwon's blood-soaked, teary face. Of course, it's hopeful enough, you motherfucker. And that's the end of chapter 107. Okay, so first off, this chapter was amazing. Minwon's friend, the one that he usually hangs out with on a regular basis, that was fucked up. He squeezed up in Sumin's outfit, or her slip, ripped it, and then went and looked at his friend's medical stuff. Like he probably, well, I don't know. Minwon's got a lot of pride. I don't think he would have told his friend. But when his friend tried to tell him, it's fucked up. All his friends laughed at him like that. It's because they knew. They're like, you don't need to have a kid. You're a kid yourself. Just from how they described what the apartment looked like since Sumin's been gone, I can imagine. And his friends saying he's happy he got married because that's the only way he would keep his life cleaned up and in control is when he has a woman. That right there shows how childish, immature, irresponsible, and how he has no responsibilities. Like, he doesn't know how to do anything. And his mom babies him, so she makes it worse. him beating his friend up when he was reading the results when they looked it up on the computer. Those he was holding that in for a long time. He was finally ready to beat Minwan's ass. I feel like Minwan's steadily been getting on his nerves. Minwan's steadily been milking money off of him, always wanting to go out but not having any money, and his friends always paying for it. So he was ready for that fight. He was that frustration was building up, and he finally let it go. And I doubt his friends are going to hang out with him for a while, if ever. Ji-hyuk answering Ji-won's phone and listening to everything he said. Chef's kiss. Because he always trying to brag and act like he better than somebody. But guess what? Your ex-girlfriend's current boyfriend knows how pathetic you are now because you just rattled it all off to him. And he was already superior to you. Now he knows for sure that that he knows he's more superior than you. And Minwon quickly came to the conclusion that he was about to kill Sumin. Like, not even an afterthought. Like I can't believe I just said I'm going to kill somebody. I could never do that. No, he's already gung-ho, maybe because he's drunk. He is dead serious, dead set on killing this bitch. And you know what? Go at it. Let them sort that out. And Ji-won and Ji-hyuk can just watch from afar. But yes, that's the end of chapter 107, and we'll be back with chapter 108, What Ji-hyuk Remembers. Whew. And we are back with chapter 108, What Ji-hyuk Remembers. Ji-hyuk hung up the phone with Minwon and looked towards the living room, where Ji-won was still inside. He picked up the phone on impulse. Half of him wanted to hear what shameless things Minwon had to say, and the other half of him wanted to confirm that the fate that he had been switched and gone to the right person. Good, it went to the right person, Ji-hyuk said to himself. Minwon had definitely been deep in despair as he talked nonsense while in tears. That despair would pile up and grab Minwon by his ankles. What would Minwon think when his body was enveloped in the bone-chilling ocean and the last air in his lungs turned into a bubble, disappearing to the surface? Were you waiting? You should have started without me. Dressed in comfortable loungewear and glasses, Ji-won stepped out and shook the remaining water out of her freshly washed hair. It's ready now. Ji-hyuk brought over the chopped steak he had cooked and placed it on the dining table. Wine was more appropriate for the mood, but Ji-won strongly insisted on beer, so the drink for the night was ice-cold beer. Meow! Pang hopped onto the dining table, only to be caught and brought back down by Ji-hyuk immediately. Meow! Meow! Ji-won spoke in a strict tone to Pang when he complained noisily. I don't care how cute you are. Don't get on the dining room table. And no seasoned meat for you. Meow. I'll give you this instead. Ji-won picked out Pang's favorite snack and fed it to him. Pang felt much better then, so he curled up into a ball under Ji-won's chair, purring happily. So much work for just a glass of beer, Ji-won complained out loud, but the expression on her face showed how adorable she thought Pang was. For a moment, Ji-hyuk was jealous of the cat, but there was nothing he could do about it. He set a napkin and fork in front of Ji-won and opened 2 cans of beer. Here you go, your hard-earned beer. Thank you. The two of them looked at each other from across the kitchen island. Let's make a toast then. Congrats on your independence. Ji-hyuk gave a small smirk. I thought we were toasting us living together. We're not living together. I'm just providing for your independence. I'm practically raising you right now. Ji-won spoke curtly and drank her beer. Ah, nice and cold. What did it matter if they were living together or if Jiwon provided for his independence? All that mattered was that Jiwon was in front of him, wiping the beer foam off um, wiping the beer foam off her was with such a cute expression on her face. Ji-hyuk dipped a piece of chopped steak in some sauce and brought it to Jiwon's mouth. "Oh my gosh, what are you doing?" she said as she tried to dodge the fork. "The sauce is dripping. Eat it." "I'm not good with other people feeding me," Jiwon insisted. "You'll have to get used to it from now on." Jiwon reluctantly opened her mouth. Ji-hyuk put the steak between her pearly teeth and grinned. Everything was perfect. Jiwon, who was chewing on the food he had made with care, Pang, who was purring near Jiwon's feet, and even this place, the smell of this moment in time. "It's delicious. How are you so good at cooking, Ji-hyuk?" Jiwon swallowed the meat and gave a little clap as she admired him. "I'm good at other things, too." Jiwon's face flushed a little and she changed the subject. Ji-hyuk thought it was because of the beer. He had to stop himself from squeezing Jiwon's cute face and smothering her in kisses. "I never imagined my scary department head would feed me something," Jiwon said with a grin. "I still can't believe it, actually." "You never have to lift a spoon again in your life if you want. I can feed you everything. I can just feed you everything." Bruh. And I had no idea he would be so good at flirting like this. Jiwon gave a small smile and rested her chin in her hand. "Isn't it strange? I changed fate, but you came into it so unexpectedly." Ji-hyuk felt it as well. Something had changed since that day. Fate seemed to have a will of its own, and as it changed its movements beyond Ji-hyuk's efforts to alter it. But a strange rule still applied. When Hugyeon, Joran, and Jiwon started growing closer and closer, when he saw Jiwon meeting up with Eunho near the office, and when he met Jiwon's 3 friends at Sumin and Minwon's wedding. After those moments, Ji-hyuk realized that the previous life after Jiwon's death and the present life where Jiwon was alive were intertwined somehow. And he's trying to investigate it. The world was too vast and busy. A woman who died from hitting her head while fighting with her husband passed as a single line in the news. Manslaughter. Within the name of Minwon's crime, there was no mention of his sins and the way he'd pushed that woman into hell. "These are the belongings of the deceased. We finished investigating them. Thankfully, there was no lock." A policeman handed over a plastic bag containing a cell phone. The phone was covered in cracks and the corners were shattered. Ji-hyuk put it in his pocket and went back to the funeral home. It was the place where Jiwon's funeral was being held, where Ji-hyuk was by himself with no guests. He drank almost an entire bottle of soju before opening the cell phone, as if to show what a lonely life Jiwon had led. The few numbers saved in the phone were all work-related. The texts were all about work as well. There were a few photos of the sky at the very beginning of the photo album. Judging by the buildings nearby, they were taken in front of the office. Other than that, the other few photos were all similar. The sky, a flower, a street cat. Among those, Ji-hyuk saw Jiwon in the single video he found. "How do I do this?" Something like a hand filled the screen and moved it, along with the voice he wanted to hear. Then the camera flipped over. Jiwon's face looked a little older than the one Ji-hyuk remembered. "Oops, that's not it." Jiwon must have wanted to film something else because she flipped the screen quickly. A kitten with gray, white, and black fur appeared in the video. Jiwon was feeding a treat to the kitten on the screen. The kitten meowed and took the food happily. "Aw, what a sweetie." The voice that came out of the video was the same as the 20-year-old Jiwon's voice. Ji-hyuk remembered it. A clear, soft, kind, and loving voice that brought him happiness whenever he heard it. "Where's your mom? Did she go get food?" "Meow." "Don't worry. I'll bring food and water every day." The kitty devoured the treat instantly and cuddled up to her like it was asking for more. Ji-hyuk heard Ji-won's laughter in the video. I'll bring more tomorrow, you little cutie. Ji-won reached out to touch the kitten, but recoiled her hand quickly. She still seemed to believe if someone touched a kitten, the mother wouldn't come back for it. I used to know a pretty little kitty like you, Ji-won whispered in a small, warm voice to the kitty that looked like Pang. But he vanished. I think someone took him in since he was so cute and small. I wonder if he's doing all right, like you. Meow? The clip ended there. Ji-hyuk held the cell phone to his chest. Like everyone living in modern times, Ji-won had probably carried it around everywhere, but he did not feel any warmth from it. He wanted to hear her voice some more, but he couldn't find the strength to watch the video again. His cries came up from deep within him like a lump of blood as he choked on his sobs. He hadn't cried even when he'd seen Ji-won's body lying still, as if she was in a deep slumber. Ji-hyuk fell forward with the cell phone still close to his heart. Ji-won's expressionless face looked down at him from the funeral portrait. There was no appropriate photos to use, so he had to use the photo from her employee ID card. He kept sobbing and sobbing, but the lump in his throat would not go down. Rather, it kept growing until it left him breathless. Who knew how long he knelt in front of Ji-won's funeral and cried by himself? After passing out and sleeping, Ji-hyuk woke with a throbbing pain in his head. It felt like he'd been asleep for a long time, but it had only been an hour. His hands still gripping Ji-won's cell phone, Ji-hyuk selected the few numbers that were in the contact list and sent them all a text. Notice of death. Ji-won Kang, funeral home number 108 at Seoul Hospital. Funeral procession at 8 a.m., April 15th. Is today April 15th? I'm sorry. Oh, it's April 14th. He squeezed his eyes shut. I pray that he was not completely alone for the last 10 years. I pray that she was not completely alone for the last 10 years, that someone comforted her. Someone made her smile from time to time. I hope someone remembers you and comes, like how I struggled to forget about you for the last 10 years and couldn't in the end. Message sent. The alert showed up on the screen. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. He waited with the cell phone in his hand just in case someone called, but the phone did not ring. Ji-hyuk felt helpless as he leaned on the wall and closed his eyes. But then, excuse me? He heard a careful, polite female voice. The woman made a sound of surprise when Ji-hyuk opened his eyes and turned around. Department head Ji-hyuk, you, right? It took a few seconds for Ji-hyuk to remember who this woman was. Assistant manager Joran Yang? It's been forever since I quit. You can just call me Joran. Joran took her shoes off and came inside. She was the first guest to come to see Ji-won. Is 10 years such a long time? Up close, Joran looked much older than her real age. It might have been because of the baggy, dark circles under her eyes and her thin, coarse hair. I wasn't sure when I saw the text, but it really is Ji-won. Joran bowed twice at the funeral portrait and burned incense. I wonder if she remembers me. I heard Ji-won took care of most of my work when I went on maternity leave after I had my daughter, Youngji. I was always thankful for that. And I'm only getting to say it now. Thank you. I'm really sorry. Joran spoke like she was speaking to someone who was still alive as she told Ji-won what she'd bottled up inside. She sat down in front of Ji-hyuk. I heard people whispering on my way in. What happened on the news the other day? Ji-hyuk silently nodded. Joran's gaze lingered on the armband he was wearing, one that was traditionally worn by the chief mourner. She should have ended up with you, not Assistant Manager Park, Joran said softly. Back then, it seems like in the end, you couldn't tell her how you felt. Joran smiled bitterly when Ji-hyuk looked at her with surprise in his eyes. I knew. Call it a woman's instinct. I see. Someone knew that Ji-hyuk could do nothing but stand back and pray for her happiness. He felt comforted by the fact somehow, but also extremely sorrowful. Joran exchanged a few more words with him and then hurried back, saying she needed to prepare dinner for her husband. The next person who appeared was none other than Hugh Yeon. Is this Jiwon Kang's? Hugh Yeon hesitated to enter the lonely funeral home when her eyes widened. Why are you here? After he went against his grandfather's wishes and left the company, Ji-hyuk turned in everything he had received from his family and stopped all contact with them. Having no idea how Ji-hyuk was doing, it was no wonder Hugh Yeon was so surprised. Of course Ji-hyuk was surprised as well. I could say the same for you, he replied. She's a co-worker, right? And we all worked in the same department. Of course I had to come. Hugh Yeon pushed aside the sibling reunion and went to burn incense. Thank you for working so hard at our company, Manager Kang. Back when I was struggling as a contract worker, you secretly taught me a lot of things, right? I was super thankful back then. Ji-hyuk had no idea. He didn't know that the tight-lipped Jiwon, who looked down and lived inside a towering wall, would sometimes, very rarely, peek outside the door. I'm sorry I had no idea how you were doing until now. If we meet again in the next life, let's be really close friends. Promise? Sticking out her pinky, Hugh Yeon made a lonely promise to Jiwon's funeral portrait that couldn't answer and seal it. Then, despite Ji-hyuk insisting, she returned home. Hugh Yeon sat down at the funeral home. Then, despite Ji-hyuk's insisting she return home, Hugh Yeon sat down at the funeral home. His sister, whom still acted like a baby, even though she was now a division director, felt uncharacteristically strong and reliable today. And that's the end of the chapter. Sorry. Give me a sec. The juxtaposition of how great Jiwon's life is right now and us seeing Ji-hyuk's version of the past and Jiwon's funeral, that was really sad. It's really sad. And already we know that's not going to be her future. And I'm grateful and happy for that. And the people that came, were the people that are like her friends right now. I'm sorry. I'm like, hang on. Let me pause because I'm about to cry while I'm trying to get my thoughts out. The people that are her real friends right now are getting their chance to be her friends and give her all the support and love that they didn't get to give her before. Okay, so I'm just going to end it here because I'm about to start bawling like a little bitch. And we'll be back with chapter 109, Jiwon's funeral. So I'm probably about to be crying again. Jeez. All right. Have a good one. And we're back with chapter 109, Jiwon's funeral. It was never going to work out with that jerk. Hugh Yeon drank some soju and chewed on a piece of beef. I saw him with that bitch even before they got married. If Miss Kang and I had been closer, I would have told her she shouldn't be with that asshole. Even what's his face would have been even better. What was his name? That balding manager? Oh, right. Gyeong-uk Kim. Even someone like him would have been better, Hugh Yeon said, answering her own question as she lamented. Then she suddenly smacked Ji-hyuk. Oh, you fool. If you were going to be single for the rest of your life, why didn't you just ask Miss Kang out back then? I may not have been in marketing team 1 for a long time, but she was a great girl. She wasn't fake, she didn't bluff at all, and she was pretty, really pretty, even if she wore glasses all the time. Since you're quiet and wear glasses all the time too, wouldn't you have guys made the perfect couple? Well, I guess we have to hear what Miss Kang has to say about this. Hugh Yeon took out her anger on Ji Hyuk, then slumped over, feeling depressed. I'm just frustrated. Why do nice girls meet assholes and ruin their lives? Why do these sons of bitches find the nicest girl and ruin their lives? You're a little stuffy, but you're not an asshole. So if Miss Kang had met you instead, then she would have... Hugh Yeon continued mumbling when she felt a presence towards the entrance and turned her head. A woman in a black dress met Hugh Yeon's eyes and asked awkwardly, Is this Ji-won Kang's funeral? Yes, it is. We're in the right place. Go get Senna. The woman was not alone. Two other women dressed in black came inside together when she called for them. Outside, they all seemed to be around Ji-won's age. Oh no, this is terrible. It's her, right, G.A.? You're sure? The other woman began making a tutting sound before bowing. G.A., the first one who entered the room, sighed. It's really her. Who knew she would die like this? Then the friend who was with her husband on the news, is that her too? Sumin Jong. Who else could it be? That's why she won't answer her phone and deleted all her socials. The woman with the especially pale face looked at the funeral portrait in a daze, as if she couldn't believe it. I feel so sorry for Ji-won, even if we were just teenagers back then. She couldn't continue her words, so she hung her head. Ji-hyuk learned a lot from the conversation the three women were having. He learned that Sumin had gone around claiming she was going to get married soon, that Minwon was the one she was going to marry, and that the three women plus Sumin and Ji-won all went to the same high school. The three friends took turns bowing, burning incense, and bowing to Ji-hyuk, the chief mourner. They looked like they wanted to ask something, but they didn't. Ji-hyuk also had a lot of questions for them, but decided to stay silent. What was the point? Ji-won was long gone. Eunho's not here? He's the one who told us to come, G.A. complained, looking around outside. The woman named Yeonhyo took out her phone from her bag. Oh, he texted me. He said he's going to be late, so we can go ahead. He must be pulling an all-nighter. He sure is dedicated. The women chattered amongst themselves, turned to look at the funeral portrait for the last time, then left the funeral. Hugh Yeon went ahead and cleaned up the empty soju bottles and plates. She was pouring out a half-full bottle and sorting out the trash and recycling when she saw a man standing by the entrance like a shadow. Are you here for Ji-won's funeral? She asked. Yes. He was a tall man with a friendly, charming face. Ji-hyuk realized as soon as he saw the man that he was Eunho, the one the other women were talking about earlier. Eunho bowed to Ji-hyuk and sat in front of the funeral portrait. He didn't bow, burn incense, or say what had been weighing down his heart. He just sat there and stared at Ji-won's funeral portrait all night. Excuse me. Hugh Yeon crouched down next to him early in the morning and spoke to him. You can just cry. No one's watching. How did Hugh Yeon know he was holding back tears? Ji-hyuk was astonished. Thank you for saying that, but I don't deserve to cry. It was the same reason Ji-hyuk couldn't cry. You're very honest. Hugh Yeon gave up easily. She stood up and walked towards the room on the side to rest until morning. Even after that, Eunho stayed sitting in that spot. Ji-hyuk did the same. With regret in their hearts, the two men who loved Ji-won stayed vigilant during her last night in this world. Oh. Someone lightly knocked on the hospital door. Joran, who was bored reading through the same book she had read over 10 times, answered it, thinking it was the nurse. Come in. The door opened in a bit too boisterously for it to be the nurse. Ba-da-bum-bum, ta-da! For some reason, Hugh Yeon and Ji-won appeared, singing a jingle from an ad. The two of them were holding loads of books and snacks in both hands. Oh my gosh! Joran was surprised at first, but soon a bright smile spread across her face. What are you two doing here? You should have told me you were coming. If you really didn't think we'd come, then you'd better think again, ma'am. Hu Yan rapped instead of speaking normally, so she sat down the presents to the side. Jiwon smiled and pulled out a chair to sit on it. Congrats on your successful surgery, Joran. Hey, Hu Yan said, pounding. Are you two going by your names without me? Joran reassured her and said, Of course, we wouldn't do that. Yeah, no way my two besties would do that. In just a second, Hu Yan turned bright again and sat close to Jiwon. Congrats on your recovery, Joran. Thanks, both of you, and thanks for coming all this way. Joran had lost a little weight, but she looked healthy. She hadn't lost all her hair, and her cheeks weren't pitifully gaunt like Jiwon's had been when she'd had terminal cancer. Jiwon felt a huge wave of relief. Are you done with your treatments? Jiwon asked. You don't need to come to the hospital anymore. I've done everything that could be done while hospitalized, Joran replied. I still have to come here for 2 months and get checkups at least twice every year to take care of myself, but I can start to work again. Don't come back to the office too soon. Just don't. That's no good. Hu Yan waved her hand like she'd heard something ridiculous. I want to go to work. I didn't know this, but turns out I'm the working type. I feel so restless not going to the office, Joran said, speaking playfully. But Jiwon could understand what she meant. When she was lying alone in bed, all sorts of thoughts came to her. Before she knew it, those thoughts turned negative, getting bigger and snowballing. By the time she realized it, the thoughts turned into a vast darkness surrounding her. Parbo's back. Will you be okay with that? I'm starting to miss Parbo, too, Joran said so seriously that Hu Yan and Jiwon both bursted out laughing. But I heard he's not as bad as before. Whenever he acts like a jerk, assistant manager Jun Suk goes over and scolds him. It's hilarious. Hu Yan seemed super excited as she cleared her throat and pretended to speak in Jun Suk's voice. Assistant Manager Kim. We have the same title, so let's be polite. Why are you yelling so much? Is there anyone here in the office who can't hear you? Joran's eyes widened. Mr. Lee did that? He did more than that. I wasn't aware of it, but Mr. Lee's got some attitude. Hu Yan gave a thumbs up. Oh, I guess that's true. Joran recalled the version of Jun-suk who was quite sassy for a senior staff member at their first meeting and chuckled. But he's good at his job. It's a good thing he came to our department before I got sick. I can't even imagine how difficult it would have been without Mr. Lee, Jiwon agreed. He was quite friendly once you got to know him. He was good at his job, and he was also good at controlling Parbo. Jun-suk was a valuable employee in many ways. Oh, right, Joran went on. I'm going to the garbage incinerator as soon as I get out of the hospital. You want to attend that trial? Jiwon asked, understanding what Joran was saying so plainly. Yeah. Smiling with her chapped lips, Joran was stronger than she had been before her cancer cells were discovered. I wouldn't miss it for the world. I'm going to witness that bastard's most miserable moment. Hell yeah, girl. Shit, what the hell is this? Minwon yanked his hair in front of a chart filled with a blue color. His stocks hadn't gone up. They had plummeted even more. There was no sign of them bouncing back. Meanwhile, the due date for the interest on his house loan had passed. So the bank called him every day, and his credit card had been blocked. His phone started buzzing. There was a phone call from a number beginning with 0 and then 2. His heart dropped. Shut up! Minwon took out the battery from his phone and threw it into a pile of clothes behind him. 5 seconds later, the phone in the living room started to ring. Damn it! Don't these assholes get tired of this? It was not the bank calling him this time. Minwon was about to unplug the phone, but instead, he swallowed dryly and summoned up his courage to pick it up. Hello? Am I speaking to Mr. Minwon Park? A rough man's voice asked in an unfriendly tone. The soft-speaking customer service representative who'd given out the loan last time was gone. Yes, Minwan said hesitantly. It's been a while since the due date for your loan passed. Why aren't you picking up your phone? Oh, I lost my phone. He was lying even without realizing it. Minwan heard snickers coming from the other side. Oh man, that sucks. So when do you plan to pay us back? Well, right now's not a good time. You should have told us that, the man said, cutting Minwan off. We'll extend your loan, but there will be a bit of interest. Will that be okay? Interest? How much? 69%. You like that number? The man snickered once more. Minwan quickly used his calculator and spoke flabbergasted. Isn't the maximum interest 49% by law? If you like the law so much, you should have borrowed from them. Why the fuck did you call us? Fine, pay 49%, but if you're late again, your life is going to turn to hell. The man's unfriendly tone was completely threatening now. The interest is due on the 13th of every month. If it's overdue, there's interest on the overdue interest. Oh, and we know where you live and where your father lives, so don't even think about running away. Beep, beep, beep. Minwan lowered the phone using his sweaty hands. He realized too late that he had borrowed money from a shady place. What do I do? He went back to his blue screen of stocks and chewed on his nails. Mom's not better yet. There was no one to look after Jaeok without Sumin. Even after a month, there was no signs of her getting better. He was overcome with anxiety about how if he kept waiting like this, they might catch him and have his kidneys taken away. Let's try calling the hospital first. Minwan put the battery back into his phone. A new text arrived as soon as his phone powered all the way back on. Unknown. How are you? It was that mystery woman he had been interested in before. He remembered how she'd driven him wild when she stopped talking to him all of a sudden. Minwan hesitated for a moment and then sent a reply. Why didn't you text me back? Unknown. I was busy with something. Sorry. Talking to the woman was fun. As usual, Minwan forgot about his worries for a moment and exchanged texts with her for about an hour. Minwan, my mom is sick, so I couldn't text either. I guess we were both busy. Unknown, your mom? Is she okay? Minwan, I'm going back and forth from the hospital to take care of her, but I'm sure she'll be getting better soon. The only time he'd gone to visit Jaeok was the first day the hospital had admitted her, but there was no need for Minwan to tell the mystery woman that. Unknown, you've got a lot on your plate. Can I send you a gift or something? She's so kind. Minwan grinned and texted the woman his address. He also sent a joke with ulterior motives. Minwan, you know the best present is a person, right? Come over with a bow on your head. And that's the end of chapter 109. Psh, psh. First of all, Minwan's an ass. How are you going to ask somebody to come over to that filthy fucking house? First of all, you're not even worried about dying. You're still worried about getting your dick wet. Bro, priorities. If he wants to do his devious plan, if you're going to kill Suman and you get money, bro, you can hire somebody to help your mom. And I love how he's acted like he cares so much about his mom, like he's running around town back and forth to go see her. Like he's such a, filial son. Definitely not. He's a piece of shit. Jiwon's funeral was sad. Not as bad as the last chapter. That shit had me tearing up after I finished. But it was still sad. Those two decent men that could have loved Jiwon genuinely and gave her a happy life, both couldn't say anything because she was in a relationship and they thought that she would be okay. And they're standing at her funeral, realizing they were wrong. Hugyeon, that's my girl, always talking shit about Minwon from the beginning. She ain't like his ass. She ain't like Suman's ass. She can spot a piece of shit right away. And I love her insight. Um, what else? Oh, I cannot wait for Joran to come back to work. Um, I can't wait to see what happens with taking her husband to court and watching his ass fry on the stands in the court. But yeah, that's the end of chapter 109. I didn't read the comments for the last chapter because I couldn't do it. But for this chapter, Jiwon's funeral was heartbreaking, but on the plus side, Joran is getting better. Arthur Nim, Arthur Nim has got to have an amazing imagination or has met some horrible people to come up with a character like Minwon. Jiwon's funeral broke my heart. Also, Minwon, bruh, come on. Huh. So Sumin got what was coming for her in the past, too. I can't believe they ever expected they would live a happy life after what they did. Right. Like, you murdered somebody in cold blood. Did you really think your life was going to be perfect? It was going to be amazing? Like, you would deserve a happy life after that? But I'll be back with chapter 110, The Plan. I'm pretty sure it's probably Minwon's plan. As stupid as it will be. We're back with episode 110, The Plan. Minwon was staring at the stock charts while smoking when he heard the doorbell ring and shouted, "There's someone at the..." Oh, right. Suman's at the hospital. Ding dong! The doorbell rang again. Minwon considered ignoring it, then got up and went to the front door. "Who is it?" "It's the messenger service." "There is no one who'd send me a message service." Confused, Minwon opened the door and staggered back in surprise. You're Mr. Minwon Park, right?" A big, tough-looking man in blue overalls stepped back inside the entrance. The man's face was obscured by a black, full-faced helmet, but his small, vicious eyes were clearly visible. "I asked if you're Mr. Minwon Park," the man asked again, in an incredibly rude tone. Minwon's instincts, which were weak toward the powerful and powerful toward the weak, were yelling at him. "This is no ordinary messenger service." That's not me," he stammered. "That's not you?" "He must be from Kidney Money. He has to be." Cold sweat started to trickle down his back. Minwon was so tense he didn't even realize how soaked his back was. "That's weird," the tough-looking man said. "The address said it was here." "I told you I'm not him. There's no one by that name here, so get out." "Hold on." The messenger service guy put his thick, fat hand in his pocket. What if he pulls out a knife from there? Minwon froze and stared intensely at the man's hands. But what came out of the man's pocket was something uncharacteristically for his size. It was a cute cell phone that had a pink accessory dangling from it. "Let's see. The number is..." The man found the button and pressed on it, and 1 second later, Minwon's phone started to ring from his pocket. "You have a call." The man smiled with his eyes inside the helmet. It was a smile that was so frightening it could easily make one quiver in their boots. Minwon took out his phone with trembling hands and opened it. "Hello?" "It's the messenger service," the man said as he closed the phone. At the same time, the line went dead. Minwon fumbled back from the man hurriedly and tripped over the doorway, landing flat on his butt. What the hell? I told you I'll pay the money. I'll pay it." "You're going to have to pay me now." "I have big money coming soon. Just wait a few months. Please, I'm begging you." "I don't care about your big money." The man tossed a yellow envelope next to Minwon. "That'll be 8. "What?" Minwon's eyes widened. "How is that possible? How can the interest be 80 million won in the short amount of time?" "No, I'm asking for 8,000 won. 8,000 won for the messenger fee." The man pounded his chest and spoke loudly. Why is it so fucking difficult to deliver something? I delivered it to you, so give me 8,000 won in fees and sign here. He gets pissed. I don't blame him. It really was a messenger service. Minwon stood up, trembling like a newborn deer, and handed the man 8,000 won. He also did as the man ordered and signed something, saying he received the delivery. Bye. The man finished his job and stammered and slammed the door on his way out. Minwon stood still and listened carefully through the door. He sighed a big sigh when he heard the elevator moving and flopped back onto the floor. Fuck. That scared the crap out of me. What kind of gangster-looking delivery man was that? I should have punched him in his ugly face. You wouldn't have, bitch. You was scared. When he came back to his senses, he finally noticed the yellow envelope. Minwon carelessly wiped his sweat-soaked hands on his pants and opened them. They were printouts that were dozens of pages long. A camera had taken photos of text messages, and they'd been organized neatly with dates and numbers written on them. Minwon frowned a little and read the first line. Unknown. What the hell are you doing with Minwon? Do you have a death wish or something? What the hell is this? Seeing his name appeared all of a sudden startled Minwon, and he continued reading. Unknown. Who are you, and why are you threatening me? Unknown. Don't play dumb. You're the one who's cheating with a married man, bitch. Unknown. Who's a married man? Are you talking about Minwon? Unknown. Don't say my husband's name like that. He realized who was speaking in this text as soon as he reached that line. Fuck, this is creepy. What a bitch. Unknown. I'm sorry, I didn't know he was married. I asked if he had a girlfriend, and he said it's been years since he met someone. You like how he said, yeah, no, because he doesn't have a girlfriend. He has a wife. That's how they be trying to split hairs. When you got to ask specific questions. The person who said that was definitely that girl. Minwon frowned and took out his phone from his pocket. He was about to contact the girl, but she had already texted him. Unknown. Did you get my gift? Before he could reply, another text appeared. Unknown. I felt sorry for that woman. I thought you were the bad guy, but the more I kept talking to her, I just couldn't ignore it. Now that I've shown you her true colors, I'm going to stop speaking to you. Minwon hurriedly pressed the call button. All he heard from the other side was an automated message saying the phone was off. What the hell is going on? Minwon continued turning the pages of the printouts. Suman and the girl looked like they had gotten closer as they exchanged texts. Usually, Suman was the one who spoke, and the girl simply agreed with her. Suman, my mother-in-law has been in here since the morning. I'm so sick of her. What Suman talked about the most was Jaeok. There was nothing nice said about her. Suman, he's impotent. I'm going to show the results to my mother-in-law. She's going to pass out from shock. Minwon's hand stopped. Just like many people did as they got older, Jaeok had minor illnesses. They didn't affect her everyday life as long as she took good care of herself. One of those minor illnesses she had was high blood pressure. He was already aware that Suman had visited his mom's house. She said it herself while sobbing her eyes out. This is all my fault. I should have slept over. But she hadn't said a word about how she had shown the damn asuspermia results to his mom. A terrible image appeared in his mind. Suman, as she handed over the results and snickered about her only son was being impotent, and Jaeok, who fainted from her blood pressure skyrocketing due to shock. Then it went back to Suman again, who abandoned Jaeok and left her without a trace. Minwon flipped the printouts in his hands, his veins popping. Suman, my mom-in-law just collapsed, so I'm stuck at the hospital. I wish she'd just die already and stop being so troublesome. Suman sure knew how to talk shit in an innocent tone. Suman, she had a cerebral hemorrhage. She's always screaming so loud that the vein on her neck popped. Of course her brain couldn't handle it, LOL. Suman, it was kind of fun to watch her condition get worse every day. It feels like my stress is all melting away. I guess it's true what they say, that justice will always prevail in the end, LOL. Minwon's eyes turned murderous when he finished reading all the texts. I thought it was weird Suman insisted so much on nursing her. Suman Jung was the one who had made Jaeok pass out. My mom was so good to her, ungrateful bitch, disgusting bitch, creepy bitch. Minwon was about to call Suman right away, but stopped himself at the last moment. No. If he went after her right now, Suman might get spooked and run away. He couldn't have that. We still have to go on that trip. So we all know. We all know who that was with the helmet. Especially when he pulled out the cell phone. It was his name. Sinu. And then Minwon, seeing the extent of, or he figured out what's really happening at the hospital and how his mom has been in the hospital for what, a month, he said. But of course, him and his dad didn't care. Him or his dad didn't care because they don't want to stay at the hospital to take care of her. But oh well, y'all left her to be at the mercy of Suman. Ah, so stuffy. Sinu struggled to get the full-faced helmet off. He didn't understand how anyone could have given him a helmet this size once they saw his head. Either way, it was a relief to take the helmet off. I need to report back on the situation. He felt better when he looked at the cute phone adorned with an accessory that matched the one dangling from GA's phone. Sinu was about to call GA on reflex, but he stopped himself. Instead, he found Ji Hyuk's phone number. Hello, boss? I've done what you asked. You gave it to him in person? He said that it wasn't him at first, so I called the number you gave me. It was definitely him. Good job. Go back to work. Hello, boss? Can I stop by somewhere on my way back? Where are you going? Oh, boss, you know where. As Sinu acted all cute and twisted his body bashfully, the people passing by on the sidewalk stopped in their tracks and turned back the way they came. Aw. Don't be a nuisance. Okay, boss. Thank you. Sinu bowed at a 90-degree angle, even though Ji Hyuk wasn't there, and ended the call. Aw, you're eating well today. Suman scooped up the watered-down gruel and put it carefully into Jaeok's mouth. She wiped it with wet tissues when the gruel trickled down the corner of her mother-in-law's lips. Perhaps it was because her condition had worsened, but Jaeok was spilling more food than she was eating. To other people, Suman looked like an angel by the way she smiled as she wiped and fed Jaeok. The guardian from the bed next to Jaeok clicked her tongue. All the nutrients goes through the IV. Why are you putting so much effort? You must be exhausted. Suman spoke awkwardly. She should practice eating once she gets better. She'll start eating yummy food again. The doctor said it'll be difficult for her later on if she doesn't use her stomach very much. You're such a diligent daughter-in-law. I'm really not. I'm just doing what I should be doing. Suman beamed and resumed feeding the gruel to Jaeok carefully, just when she busied her hands and emptied half of the bowl. You're working so hard. Minwon appeared out of the blue and reached out with his hand to caress Suman's head. Suman jumped in surprise, but brightened when she noticed who it was. Minwon, she exclaimed. Give that to me. I'll feed her the rest. It's okay. She's almost done. You should get some rest. Your arms must be tired. Minwon nearly forced Suman to sit down and took the bowl from her to feed Jaeok himself. I'm here, Mom. Jaeok flapped her lips like she had a lot to say. Minwon put the spoon between those parted lips. You heard what I said, right? Minwon chirped. She needs to practice eating so she can have yummy food once she gets better. Jaeok struggled to swallow the gruel and raised her arm to point somewhere. Suman sat in the exact same spot where Jaeok pointed. Me? Do you want me to feed you? Suman stood up and came closer. Tears started forming around Jaeok's eyes, which had gotten a little wider. No. I think she's happy to see you, Minwan. You should have visited more often, Suman said, scolding Minwan lightly. The noisy guardian from the next bed came over and added some words. Yeah, you should have. Her daughter-in-law has been working so hard. Oh, I told you it's nothing. Once Suman denied it, everyone in the hospital ward chattered as if they were waiting for a chance to speak. What do you mean? Even a real daughter can't do all that. I know you're busy with work, young man, but you should come over and let your wife get some rest. Seriously, she'll prefer her own son to be here, no matter how much she adores her daughter-in-law. You need to come often to help your wife and talk to your mother so she gets better. If they said one more thing, there were 5 patients in the hospital in the hospital wards besides J-Oak. Plus, with their guardians, the total number of people was 10. Minwan's head started throbbing when all 10 of them started nagging him at once. I need to go, he said abruptly. Already? Suman pouted. He hadn't shown up for over a month, and he was already leaving after not even 10 minutes. Stay a while and eat with me. Stay a while and eat with me. I have something urgent to take care of. I'll be back. Pretending to be kind, Minwan caressed Suman's head again. We should go on a trip before it gets too cold. Should we hire a caregiver for just a week? Suman's expression brightened. A trip? Just the 2 of us? Yeah, you're working so hard taking care of Mom. Let's go somewhere for a few days. Eat good food and get some rest. Oh, what a great idea! Again, the super nosy guardian from the next bed got in their way. Your wife was as pretty as a doll with her porcelain skin when she first came here. Look at her. Her skin has gotten coarse now. She needs rest. That's right. The guardian needs to get more rest than the patient. It's a long-term battle. Hire a caregiver and go on that trip. Do you want any recommendations? And that's the end of the episode. So Minwan is pissed. He already said that he wanted to kill her. But I don't know. Excuse me. They haven't said that he's done anything other than finding out he's impotent, finding out the text messages Suman sent between that fake girl that was actually GA and G1, and borrowed more money that he can't pay back. But let's see what some of the comments are. Is he planning to sell her kidneys in his place? Unless he's really dumb. If he already planned to kill her, it's more efficient to have it cover all his debts as well. Kind of wondering how Suman will get out of it, because we know that this cockroach couple will not die in the end until the end of the novel. It'd be great if I'm wrong, though. Is Minwan going to kill Suman on this trip? I'm pretty sure he is. Yeah, it's like I'm thinking and everyone else is too. He's going to take her on a trip to hell where they both belong, but I guess he's sending her early to prepare the way for himself. Yes, please kill Suman for us. Suman girl, you in danger. All right, that's it for now. If you like the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll be back with a new video. But I hope you've been enjoying it so far. It's getting real juicy now. It's getting really juicy. We had a sexy bedroom scenes, 2 of them. One not as detailed as the first one, but we still got one. And now karma's starting to catch up with Minwan and Suman, as it should. But thank you so much. I hope you've been enjoying me reading the web novel of Marry My Husband. And I did find out it's actually I actually found a website where they have more. So I'll be doing that eventually, but I'm going to start churning out more content, I think. Since I did start my newest stream, this video won't be out for a while. So I'll probably be a few more streams in. But if you do want to check me out, I am on Twitch now. I do have a Patreon that I'm not really working on, which I need to do, but maybe eventually someday. But again, have a good morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever time is you're listening. And I will see you later. Bye.